EU AI Act Alignment Statements for SaMD, Regulatory English. Welcome! In this micro-lesson, we'll build strong alignment statements for SaMD that satisfy the EU AI Act while fitting neatly into your clinical and performance files. Your goal is to clearly show how your AI risks connect to clinical evidence and real-world use. We'll write in clear, testable language so auditors, clinicians, and engineers read the same message. Each statement should be concise enough to live inside your clinical or performance documentation, not as a separate manifesto. By the end, you'll know how to tie claims to data, demonstrate compliance, and keep everything audit-ready and implementation-friendly. Start by defining your scope precisely. State what is SaMD, what is the AI system, model, pipeline, runtime, and the intended use, condition, target population, setting, and purpose. Identify your high-risk classification under the AI Act and why it applies. Reference the relevant articles and annexes you are satisfying so reviewers can trace requirements quickly. Specify patient, user, clinician, technician, patient, and context, inpatient, outpatient, telehealth, device integrations. Clear terms prevent scope creep, enable measurable claims, and help align safety controls, clinical endpoints, and post-market responsibilities. Use a repeatable structure. Claim right-pointing arrow. Evidence right-pointing arrow. Method right-pointing arrow. Result right-pointing arrow. Residual risk. For example, claim the device assist triage. Cite the study/report. Describe methods, dataset, protocol, stats, present results. Then state remaining risks and mitigations. Keep one requirement per paragraph to avoid tangled traceability. Use numbered, cross-referenced clauses that point to datasets, SOPs, and annexes. Always end with verification/validation status, verified in bench tests, validated in clinical performance evaluation, or pending with timeline. This format mirrors regulatory expectations and makes audits faster and less subjective. Be deliberate with modal verbs. Use shall for mandatory requirements, should for recommendations, and may for permissible options. Stay consistent. Prefer short, active sentences. The model shall log inference inputs beats passive phrasing. Avoid ambiguity and marketing words like cutting edge or game-changing. Instead, specify measurable behavior. Always quantify thresholds and acceptance criteria. False alarm rate shall be is less than or equal to 3% in ICU adults. Clear language reduces interpretation risk, aligns teams, and lets test plans map directly to statements without creative guesswork. Name known and foreseeable risks. Misclassification, delayed output, downtime, automation bias, and misuse. Explain data representativeness across demographics, devices, sites, and care settings, where it's strong and where it's thin. State your bias testing methods and metrics, subgroup sensitivity/specificity, calibration, false negative parity, or equalized odds. Describe controls for drift and rare subgroups. Finally, present a post-market monitoring plan, data capture, signal detection thresholds, triggers for retraining or rollback, and reporting timelines. Make it obvious how you will find issues early and correct them safely. Map KPIs directly to the intended use. If the goal is early detection, latency and sensitivity matter. For workload reduction, measure time saved and alert burden. Report sensitivity/specificity with confidence intervals, and include prevalence, so clinicians can judge positive predictive value in context. Describe clinical relevance, not just accuracy, effect on decision-making, triage time, unnecessary tests avoided, or patient outcomes. State limits, contraindications, and safeguards. Imaging modalities not supported, pediatric use excluded, mandatory human review, and lockouts on low-quality inputs. This shows performance translates into real, safe clinical benefit. Document the training process, data lineage, versioning, and release gates, entry/exit criteria, sign-offs. Explain human oversight. Who reviews outputs? What fallback exists if AI is unavailable or uncertain? And how overrides are logged. Describe your update policy and triggers, data drift thresholds, safety signals, or regulatory changes that prompt retraining or a new release. Link everything to PMS, post-market surveillance, and CIAPA, so issues feed into corrective actions and design updates. This lifecycle view proves your system remains safe, effective, and compliant over time, not just at first release. Use these to speed drafting and keep consistency. 1. This system shall requirement to express mandatory behavior. 2. Compliance is evidenced by study/report to anchor claims to documents. 3. Acceptance criterion is greater than or equal to X per Y on dataset Z to quantify pass/fail. 4. Residual risk remains mitigated by to acknowledge what's left and how you control it. Combine them into a traceable block and add verification/validation status, verified/validated/pending with reference ID. These starters align teams, accelerate reviews, and reduce wording debates.